What's up, peeps? Long time no see. I'm back. I'm ready. We got content coming, don't you worry. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 vegetarian fall-inspired dinners that I've made in the past couple days that I'm super excited to share with you. So let's get cooking. The first one I'm sharing with you is a pumpkin chili, and it sounds weird, but it actually turned out really good, and I did modify the recipe, so I'll leave the original link down below, and then I will let you know my modifications. But to a large pot with some oil, I'm adding in onion, mushroom, bell pepper, and a jalapeno. Once my veggies were tender, I added in a spoonful of garlic as well as some salt and pepper. I then seasoned it with cumin, chili powder, onion powder, and cinnamon, and this gave it such a beautiful fall smell and vibe and really made my kitchen smell like fall. And here's where some of the major modifications took place. So I added in 1 large sweet potato, which is in the recipe, and then you're supposed to add 2 cups of vegetable broth, but I added 2 cups of water and then a bouillon cube. And then I added in a can of kidney beans and a can of black beans. It's supposed to be pinto beans, but whatever. And then a can of diced tomatoes, undrained. I had frozen diced tomatoes from my mother-in-law's garden in my freezer, so that's why those are looking like that. And then 1 can of pumpkin, not pumpkin pie filling, pure pumpkin. I know, the pumpkin's weird, but trust me, this chili was fantastic. It made my house smell absolutely beautiful. I love the cinnamon in the chili. It added such a warmth, depth of flavor. I served this with some garlic toast, and it was fantastic, and it made tons. I had lots to freeze and lots to pull out on nights that we need a nice bowl of chili. Next up, in a hot skillet, I have 1 onion and about 1.5 teaspoons of minced garlic. This is for some butternut squash black bean enchiladas. And I'm going to leave the original recipe link down below, but again, I went off course here, so just bear with me. I added in a can of black beans, drained and rinsed, and then about 3/4 of a cup of butternut squash that I had peeled and cubed. So this recipe got interesting because I didn't actually have enchilada sauce, I had taco sauce. So we went with that and I didn't have enough, so just go with me. I added in some water and then about half of a container of taco sauce, and then I felt like it still needed a bit more, so I actually ended up adding in about a cup of salsa, and it gave this so much flavor. I was actually really happy with this. I cooked it down until it got a bit thicker and some of the water had evaporated. And then I laid out my whole grain tortillas and spooned about a cup, I don't know, as much as you want. It's your enchilada. And then I topped it with some cheddar cheese. It's totally optional. You can use dairy-free cheese if you want to make this vegan or whatever. And rolled them up and put them in my 9x13 that I saved some of the enchilada sauce for, actually. And then you're supposed to pour enchilada sauce over top. I obviously ran out at this point, so I just had some extra filling, so I threw the filling on top and then topped it with cheese. But this actually turned out incredible. You bake it in your oven, refer to the recipe for instructions because now I can't find it on my phone, but this is how it turned out. I will definitely be making these again. My daughter loved these. These were fantastic. So very filling. You would never know there was no meat and you wouldn't miss it. Last but not least, I'm making crock pot red lentil sloppy joes. So in my crock pot, I've got some bell pepper, carrot, zucchini, and onion, as well as a few cloves of minced garlic. I then added in my red lentils. You can use brown lentils, whatever you want. I just happen to have red lentils, so that's what I'm using. I used 1.5 cups of lentils and then a 1/2 cup of uncooked quinoa. And surprise, surprise, I didn't follow the recipe. It calls for a can of tomato sauce. I didn't have that, so I used crushed tomatoes. And it called for a cup, but whole can, because I'm not going to use that for anything. Added in some ketchup as well as maple syrup. I added in some hot sauce, just a little bit, as well as some mustard. About 1 tablespoon of chili powder, yes, I measured this one, and then as much paprika as I wanted because who doesn't like paprika? As well as some salt and pepper. Again, this recipe calls for vegetable broth. I didn't have any, so I just used some water. And I think it was a combination of too much crushed tomato and too much water that I added, because it said between 2 and 3 cups and I added the full 3. that this was a little bit on the runny side, but it tasted fantastic. I just cooked this on low for the afternoon, and this is what it looked like. And this was the next day, I should add. We had it for supper and I totally forgot to film it, but this turned out fantastic. Everyone loved it. The flavor was great, and again, you don't miss the meat. That's it for today, peeps. I hope you have a great weekend. Take care.